Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are just doing a follow-up on this Elizabeth and Andrew situation. If you aren't familiar with that, please go back to my previous video. I'll link it up below so that you can click on it and you can be up to date. For everyone who is up to date, here is Andrew, and remember, he had the Scientology links linked to the website, which he actually claims that he didn't even create. But watch these videos, and then there's also going to be some follow-up videos from someone who was previously a third-generation Scientologist. So this one is going to be a very interesting episode. Stay tuned, and please follow, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. The story is still developing.
Hello everyone, I just want to come on here real quick and clear up a few things that has been obviously a very recurring theme on the page. Number one, I'm not a Scientologist. Don't even know how that came about, other than the website, but I didn't create the website either. So both of those things, Scientology, never been one. The website, I did not create. So those two things, nothing to do with me. Last thing is the name, Inventing Elizabeth. It is about a show on Netflix, Inventing Anna. If you haven't seen that show, I highly recommend going to watch it before watching more of my videos or commenting on my stuff. That show is about a woman who was a con artist and a scammer. So my name is a reference to that show. Again, I'm out of town, so I'm not gonna post much more until I get back, and then I'll be showing a lot more evidence, things like that, because I'm not gonna post hearsay things or show you text messages. Yeah, I could show you a bunch of text messages over the years and things like that, but at this point where this is at, with this level of the story, if you will, it just needs to be straight facts from here on out, and that's all you will be getting. So stay tuned. Peace. And I just want to clear up the domestic violence injunctions. They're just temporary injunctions. None of them actually were credible. None of them were ever imposed because there was no evidence to be found in any of the cases of any domestic violence. So I just want to make that clear. Again, I'll talk further about those individually and their own posts, but I did want to briefly clear that up so there's no confusion on that. And lastly, yeah, I have had my daughters, full time for the last several years. So as you go through my page, a lot of it is, pictures or posts or things like that. It's very little me talking into a camera, because when you have two kids, one kid full time, you don't have a lot of time. So it's even hard for me to get away and, make the posts that I have the last, couple days, doing stuff like this. I do think it's more effective, so I'm going to start doing it this way. But in the past, it's not as been as time effective for me to be able to do this, because again, I do have them full time.
I get it. I wouldn't want to be associated with Scientology either. Andrew here is insisting that despite what his ex-wife says, he is not a Scientologist.
Number one, I'm not a Scientologist. Don't even know how that came about.
See, right there, it's like, you know where this came about.
Andrew has created websites, TikToks, essentially everything since I left him. I think that is probably the Scientologist aspect of his life. If you go on the website, there's actually Scientologist links.
Ah, yes, the website, because Scientology is absolutely involved here. Let me tell you what, there is a hate website, a smear campaign website against her. And, shocking, we're back to she said, he said. She says that her ex-husband, Andrew, has this website, doxing her, analyzing years of her social media, and linking to a page about third-party law that goes directly to a Scientology website. But Andrew, gosh, this guy doesn't know anything.
The website, but I didn't create the website.
Create the website.
So both of those things, Scientology, never been one. The website, I did not create. So those two things, nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with it.
Last thing.
This man then goes on to explain the name Inventing Elizabeth, his TikTok channel. So it is his. Here he is, his whole face. That whole channel, though, is designed to spreading the information about the hate website and taking her down. Let's look at it, shall we? These are all TikToks slandering her, like talking mad crap, giving out doxing details. So he didn't create this website, but he is constantly using it to further his agenda. Great song here, In God's Hands. You, sir, are in TikTok God's hands now. And we're a vengeful God, aren't we, collectively? I don't mean to be sacrilegious. I'm just like, oh. So, I don't know. I don't believe a word he says. How about you? Looks like it's time for a mini lesson on Scientology's fair game. Hey, I'm Liz Gale. I was raised in Scientology, born a third-generation Scientologist. I'm out now, but let me explain to you what the concept of fair game is. Fair game is a policy in Scientology that says that once a person has been deemed an enemy of the church or a suppressive person, a truly evil person, then it's no holds bar against them. It means that Scientologists are allowed to lie, trick, sue, deceive these people with no repercussions from their church. There's a number of ways that are dictated in Scientology policy to do this to people and to cause trouble for them. One of them is called a noisy investigation. This is why you hear a lot about Scientology hiring private investigators and harassing their ex-members who speak out against them. It's actually a part of their policy. Using websites against someone is a huge way that Scientology and Scientologists within their culture do. It's considered acceptable. My own stepdad had PaulDeFazioSucks.com because there was like a local politician that he just didn't like. Now listen, I'm all for free speech and all that. However, fair game is different. Fair game is designed to ruin a person's life, to ruin their relationships, to take the supports away from them, to bankrupt them, to emotionally and spiritually destroy them so that they have no will, essentially, to ever say the word Scientology or attack back again. The problem with fair game is that it acts like narcissistic abuse. There's no moral compass. There's no talking sense into a person who has decided to do fair game. It's dirty tricks, and they know it, and they're agreeing to play by those dirty rules. Just like narcissistic abuse, there's kind of a reactionary abuse that cycle that you can see, and the person who is being abused often looks crazy. They often end up turning to, substances, and they have mood problems, and they're not stable. It's really hard to be stable when you're being attacked by either a narcissist or being fair gamed. And that's the nature of fair gaming. I just want people to think about why? Why does a whole website exist just to slander somebody? And when you're looking at that website and you're taking information, maybe think twice about the source. And above all, let's not be okay with fair gaming, please. Things are always more complicated than they seem on the internet, because the single momming here comes with co-parenting, and the co-parent has a smear website against her. So the ex-husband has a smear website against this woman, and I'm so confused why this is legal. For real, explain to me how it's legal to take out a website against your ex-partner. Shouldn't that be part of a custody arrangement that you just can't do that? Anyway, she's doxxed. Hella doxxed. Doxing known associates like mom and sister. This ex-husband has got every year of her social media accounts analyzed on a website. Oh boy. Where she lives. Should this be legal? Should this be allowed? I feel like this is really, really icky and should not be allowed for someone to do against the mother of their children. Boo, boo, boo. The plot twists in this one just keep twisting. You watched this video, right, of the single mom, Elizabeth, crying, making herself cupcakes alone, single mom on her birthday. And the internet was there for it, right? Half the world was like, why are you filming yourself crying doing this? Go out and have some fun, babe. And the rest of the world was really sympathizing with her because, that sucks. Then her ex-husband rolls out and says, no, don't believe her at all. She is a terrible person, a terrible mother. He said that she owed $21,000 in back child support because he actually has full custody of the kiddos. He said she faked cancer and grifted $1 million off of somebody. Next plot twist. She comes back to TikTok, makes another video, says her ex-husband is abusive, and the only reason she signed over her kids was to get him off of her back. And at this point, I really started to get Micah Miller vibes, right? Like, what's going on here? Turns out, I should have seen this coming. Ex-husband is a Scientologist. Now listen, I was born a third-generation Scientologist. I'm out now, and I know inherently that does not make him a bad person. However, you know what I think does make him a bad person? Using Scientology's fair game, which is their policy to attack their enemies. Literally, he's going by the playbook against his ex-wife. We need to talk about this website. This man has an entire hate website about his ex-wife online. That's so weird. And it asks the big question, who is Elizabeth? Who is she? Well, you know how I know that reeks of Scientology? That is literally the line they use when they take out smear websites against their enemies. No joke. Look at this one. Who is Mike Rinder? Who is Amy Scobie? I mean, it's so well known that I look at my SEO. Look at what's up here. Number 1, who is Liz Gale? Because I know how important that is, because they will come after you using those exact terms. So I just think it's really important that we point out here that we have a religious man literally using his religious policies to attack a woman, convince the whole world she's insane. Why? Because she dared to cry on her birthday. And listen, yeah, I think it's even more appropriate to cry if you don't even have custody of those kids. Like, what a reason to cry. How terrible. Anyway, what do you guys think about this crazy situation? I take no pleasure in this, actually. This is dangerous ground. For real. For real.
What is Scientology? Scientology is a belief system created by L. Ron Hubbard that does fundamentally believe that we're all immortal spiritual beings called Thetans, that we have native godlike potential, that there is nothing more powerful in the universe than a Thetan. Like, so godlike is, quite literal here. And that through various decisions Thetans have made, they have fallen away from their native godlike power to fallen down to a state where most Thetans aren't even aware that they are Thetans, aren't even aware that they ever have lived before or have these powers. And that Thetans are now in a state where they're trapped in bodies, trapped here on Earth, trapped in this prison of a physical universe, trapped on this prison of a planet. And that only Scientology can restore a Thetan to its native state. Are these multiple beings? Like, is there one Thetan inside of me that's trapped in this prison? Well, the Thetan would be you. The thing would be me. The Thetan is you, but I'm presumably limited in some fundamental way. So the Thetan that is me is limited. So there's like 8 billion Thetans on the planet. There's one primary Thetan animating each body. Later in Scientology, you learn there's actually like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of like sick, unconscious, half-dead Thetans stuck to you that are now an additional cause of problems for you. Sure. But fundamentally at the lower levels, the non-confidential levels, there's just one Thetan per body.